Hello and welcome everybody to this Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Standard Tournament 2023 semifinal matchup between Big Slamu and MetalDream. This is game number 2 in the best of 3 with Big Slamu taking the first win. So this game, if Big Slamu wins, will put him into the finals. If not, we'll have a game 3 coming up in just a couple of days. I am Aaron to you too, and with me on the comms tonight is Adam Raptors. Hello, and how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm really looking forward to this race. This is a race between two phenomenal runners. There are absolutely no underdogs in this race. MetalDream and Big Slamu were both phenomenal runners. Match 1 was an amazing race. MetalDream at the Dragon Lord, low rolled, died to the Dragon Lord. Big Slamu come and take game 1. With basically the same strategy a little bit later, but it was a very, very close race, very fun to watch. I'm excited. Hopefully get just as good of a race, if not better.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a little bit of RNG at the end of that race, but that does happen sometimes. The saying goes, you have to be good enough in DWR to beat your opponent twice.
All right, looks like we are off.
Yeah, so there might be a little bit buffer here at the beginning because just the way the streams work out. But looks like, we get the Radiant spell in 5 strength. Not very much hit points. It seems like a bit of a rough start.
Yeah, stat-wise, this is absolutely low roll and no spells to help that out. So we're hoping for the 2 treasure chests in the throne room to help us out a little bit. So we want a torch, a fairy water, or if we, get really lucky, a key or some wings. There's all sorts of things that we would love in the throne room. Let's see. We'll see what we get.
Yeah, the ability to get a key here could be a massive point of randomness depending on what happens. I say randomness, I mean variance. Sometimes you get that sort of thing. But hey, it looks like the menuing is coming. I think Slamu usually waits the last minute till the timer ticks to click on the speed because he doesn't want to accidentally start. So there we go. We are now underway.
All right, the king's going to tell us what to do. I don't know why. We're experts here by this point. We already know that we got to go kill the Dragon Lord and all that stuff. But 2 chests here. We have a cursed belt and an herb. So not a lot. So what we're really hoping to do is find one of the towns where we can sell that cursed belt for a copper sword, some fairy waters, anything. Otherwise, this is going to be a really, really tough start.
Yeah, that puts Cantlin and Breckenary kind of right at the top of the list, but we'll see how these players go. Both Slamu and MetalDream tend to be on the grindy side of things, so we'll see if they head that way. Slamu finding a Magic Drakey, that's not going to do a whole lot for him, but the slime is currently paused MetalDream. We'll see how that goes.
All right, so to introduce these runners a little bit, so Big Slamu, veteran of the community, has a lot of tournament success. I believe he got 3rd place in this exact same tournament last year. So he will try and do at least one better by making the finals this year. And on the other hand, MetalDream, relatively new runner, but he won the training tournament earlier this year. That was super fun. He beat some random person in the finals. But it's been very impressive to watch early in his career, Dragon Warrior career.
Yeah, you do have a bit of a connection to both of them. I think rumor is that you actually have met Slamu before in real life, and then
yes, I was actually shocked to so I joined the community relatively recently, started playing, and I recognize that voice. Yeah, Big Slamu and I used to play Magic together over Magic the Gathering over a dozen years ago. I moved away, so don't anymore. But yeah, I was surprised to find somebody I knew in the community. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and then of course the person you were talking about in that training tournament was in fact you, who pretty close matchup with MetalDream and kind of combative there for a while. It's really interesting right now. Slamu is pushing exploration a lot more than you would expect. I think he really wants to exhaust those starting zones and make sure he doesn't miss something this time.
Yeah, walk around at the beginning, try and find the town. So exploration here early is valuable if you find one of the towns where you can sell your copper belt. Your cursed belt. Sorry, cursed belt for the copper sword. Yeah, and you also want to walk around, find, just kind of get the lay of the land, get where the enemies are.
Yeah, just get a pretty good idea. I think both of them missed something in the initial zones last time.
Yes, they missed different things.
It didn't kill them, but it wasn't great. But also, I do want to give a big thanks and out to Ness Cardinality for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. What you've seen right now is pretty much all we got right now. Starting out with a Cursed Belt and Herb, and the Radiant spell, and very little hit points or strength. So right now it's the quest for level 2, and we'll see if anything changes at that point. Yes, unfortunately you can't throw the Cursed Belt at the enemies, so it's useless except for the selling, which you had talked about before. And Slimu is in zone 2 down here, so he might be a little bit lower. I think he did not see the slime in zone 0 though, which MetalDream has seen and has been specifically trying to get. That could be a thing if this continues on, because right now that slime seems like the only enemy that's killable.
Yeah, I don't know if Slimu saw a red slime. That would be the thing that would be better than the only slime, because those two enemies are the only two that we can realistically kill. With exactly 5 strength, the Drakies are kind of off the table. Not that we've seen one, but it's slime, metal slime, and apparently slime, red slime, and MetalDream has found 5 slimes, so he is now at level 2, which gives big number 9 strength. Now we can fight other enemies.
Yes, but maybe not the Trakima, which he does try to run from. Looks like he's pushing just a little bit. Not quite as hard as Slamu, who has actually made a lot of ground here. The Spectre has got him before, and it looks like it's going to get him again, unfortunately, getting sent back to home.
But not before Slamu finds a cave right there on the screen. So I would imagine that Slamu will be right back and try and get see what that cave is.
Yeah, very well might be. Looks like MetalDream is just still focusing. He doesn't want the slimes now, but there's some other enemies here. Magician, Ghost, those aren't too bad. The hit points are still really low, but if you kill one of them, it's so valuable that you can just, what do we call it? The slim move when you just dive into swamp repeatedly to kill yourself.
The magicians would be nice, but I believe we saw that magicians had weak breath, which pretty much takes them off the table.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that's not something you really want to deal with now.
But Metal going for the Scorpion, which I think would normally be out of his range, except for an excellent move. But I was going to say the Herb would probably help MetalDream finish off the Scorpion. And that's huge. That's 16 experience. That's like twice as much as both runners had combined before that. So huge bump.
Yeah, and level 3 is a huge bump. 11 strength, 14 agility, and a hurt more. Yeah, MetalDream is, he's going to find a place to use that hurt more. He's going to die real quick. Now we're moving. Level 3 is where this seed starts.
Oh no, Slamu finds the flute. I can't tell what cave he is in.
Oh, he is in Tablet. He did the entire Dark Tablet. Even though he has Radiant, maybe I forgot that he had it. His Dark walked all Tablet just for the flute. Maybe that's useful later, but that's gotta feel like a big old sloppy wet kiss from your grandma right there.
Yeah, I can't think of a worse item to get after finding a cave and needing anything.
And yeah, now MetalDream is immediately out to a level 4 and level 5 with that hurt more, just being able to claw through these enemies. And he takes the death now, but we didn't really see the stats increase too much, but agility, 47, is very good. Honestly, the hit points, this is a pretty good level 5 stat line right now.
Yeah, and somehow Slammer was unable to run away from a red dragon at level 1, so he got sent back. Very unlucky to not be able to run from the red dragon. The hardest enemy to run from in the game.
Yes, truly unfortunate. And really, the worst thing here is he hasn't seen the slimes in Zone 0, so he's not chilling there. He's going to every other zone to try to find something, and it's just not happening.
He somehow does have... Oh, he has 2 experience. Did he find a red slime somewhere?
Now, he's fought a couple of slimes. They just weren't, like, obviously in Zone 0. And he's been trying to re-find it, and just with no luck. Like, I think he thought maybe it was the Eastern Zone, so that was his first exploration, and it wasn't there.
Alright, so he's back near start, trying to find them again. But, yeah, this is already Zone 2. With the Drakima.
And that might be the hint that he needs. Oh, look at there's a town right there.
Oh no.
Well, this could bail Slamu out if there is a copper sword, maybe even a club here. And
I think fairy water bails him out. Because he just doesn't need that much to get to level 3. Selling the cursed belt for some fairy waters, take out, a scorpion, and you're there.
Absolutely. And we see Slamu selling the cursed belt for 180 gold.
Not the context I usually hear the darts call. But that is it. 180 is 180.
I've been waiting like 4 months to remember to do that.
Oh no. So MetalDream finds an armored knight. And it has stop spell, and it landed. So MetalDream unable to finish it off. And even worse, it has DL2 breath. So it's just going to send us back repeatedly. So that's going to be a tough Sharlock enemy right there. At least until we get the armor.
Well, this should definitely help Slamu as long as he's able to get these things out in the right order. Now, the fact that he saw that Drenlord there, he died, that's bad. That zone could be a good early level Hurtmore zone, so we'll see when he hits 3 if he decides to go that direction. Usually Slamu has a pretty good nose for overworld grinds.
Yeah, and that's why you see him kind of walking around initially, trying to figure out, okay, where are the enemies? What are the good zones? And we see MetalDream come up upon Breckenary, which, most of the time, Breckenary, not an exciting town. You see the immediate Brexit, because it doesn't really do anything for him, but Breckenary is huge for Slamu. You see him get to level 3 now, and his hurt more, so not too far behind, honestly, for Slamu. It looks like really far behind, but only a few minutes behind.
Yeah, with Hurtmore, this gap is pretty small. And it looks like, oh man, okay, so that Armor Knight is in this zone. That makes this probably not a very good grinding zone, unless it throws out Stop Spell and it fails, but it didn't fail.
Yeah, having to fail is tough. Like, normally, you're like, great, Stop Spell. It's like, but we actually need our spells to kill it, so I would not be grinding in this zone once I saw the Armored Knight.
Oh, hey, there it is again. Hello, Mr. Armored Knight, and now... we've seen a decent amount of red enemies just stomping on our players already. It's 10 minutes, and this has happened about 5 times. This is not a great sign for a fun exploration seed.
All right, it looks like MetalDream is back in the same zone. Just like Armored Knights, I could take them, but Spectres also have Dragon Lord 2 breath, so we have to go first against them. Although otherwise they'd be a really good enemy.
Yeah, with 51 agility, you're like, why am I getting ambushed by a Spectre? You would think that wouldn't happen, but the game has jokes, and sometimes it takes a little while to see the punchline.
And honestly, given how likely we are to go first and how close it is, like, the death didn't cost MetalDream all that much. So if you can somewhat reliably go first, which we can, I do think it is a good zone. The Armored Knights scare me, though. I would not want to tangle with those, but MetalDream, on the other hand, is like, bring them on.
Well, he has seen some other things, and the death is fairly quick. So if you haven't seen anything better, this is probably worth it at least a 7, which we get the 1474. So another small increase in stats there, but the hit points going up is the big one. You really want to see that start to get out of the getting hit and killed by every single Sharlock enemy in 1 hit range.
Yeah, right now I'd actually rather see agility because we've seen multiple enemies with Dragon Lord 2 breath that we need to go first against. But yes, definitely once you have hurt more, you definitely want HP and agility way more than you want strength. And depending on how much you want to explore, the MP can... we have plenty of MP. 46 is more than enough. We'll never run out before we die, at least in this initial stage.
So it might be worth noting, I don't think either of our players here are pretty aggressive on this end, but Tantagel is one zone south and one zone east of the northwest corner. At least it seems like that. We might see that that's incorrect here in just a little bit. But that does put that whole reverse count possibility into your head.
And so one thing I try and notice when, getting the lay of the land is, where can my exploration be? Is like, okay, I'm at the... If I see one edge, I'm much less likely to explore that area because I know the space just isn't there for a lot of stuff. And so I'll explore other places first. I'm no, reverse counter yet. But I also like figuring out, okay, did I go left or right? Well, if I know the left of the match, I'll go right.
Oh, and hey, MetalDream does get through the Armor Knight. You really don't have much of a choice other than throw out the Hurtmores, but we'll see level 8 on his side right now with 0942. So that's, the agility is still good. The hit points are inching up a little bit. It's still a pretty dangerous exploration seed, especially with no heals halfway through our spell levels.
All right, MetalDream takes out a dragon for some number of experience points.
Yeah, some number. It was like 180 or something like that.
Give or take, yeah. So I think we're really lucky in this seed that 172 is not a scoreable darts number, or at least how I understand darts. Like, you can't score 172. You can only score,
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about darts. We do see the Radish purchase from Slamu, so everyone in the chat...
Seed's over. Slamu wins. Radishes are... So, in my experience, radishes vastly improve your RNG experience. So you just get to run from everything, all the stop spells miss, your exploration gets a lot better. Radishes are just super powerful. No, they don't do anything. Radishes are just a meme.
Yeah, and it is interesting right now. I want to point this out because it's basically an irrelevant thing, but I'm always a fan of what the sprites do to the other NPCs on the screen, and seeing that the guards with the black colored armor because of the Mina the Hollower sprite that MetalDream is using just looks really sharp. But also should mention Slamu just took out a green dragon. That might be what he's hunting for over here.
Hilariously enough, Slamu found regular slimes all the way out here, which is exactly what he was hunting for in the beginning, but just found them now. Game has jokes, etc.
Sees the blue dragon, decides to not try to double Hurtmore like MetalDream did, which was kind of surprising. But if it works out, it works out, and the more experience you can get while wandering around trying to find things, the better.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do it if my agility is really low and I'm just like, oh, I'm super unlikely to run. But their agility is actually runnable, like in the 40s to 50s. Yeah, you can run a non-zero amount of time, certainly more than double Hurtmoring it.
Oof, the werewolf does take out Slamu there. Werewolves are always kind of they hit a little bit harder than you expect because you think of them being like the weakest Sharlock enemy, but they're still rough.
They're still a Sharlock enemy. All of them hit hard when you're at these low levels without any armor.
And we did see on MetalDream's side, level 9, the big big takeaway from this one was the 23 hit points. So now having a pretty respectable amount of hit points. Still no heal spells did pick up outside, return, and repel. All useful in certain scenarios, especially if he comes across the tablet cave like Slamu did, not having to walk all the way out, burdened by that extraordinarily heavy fairy flute.
Wow, another Sharlock enemy with DL2 breath. The Star Wyvern takes MetalDream out. That's going to be another tough one. Although MetalDream looked like his kind of exploration was coming to an end, he found all the things in that corner. So not a horrible death, but still not Still not lovely to see the Star Wyverns with DL2 breath.
And Slamu, his grinding comes to an end as he eventually wanders into another Armor Knight zone, because why wouldn't there just be Armor Knights everywhere on the map? Yeah, answering chat, I believe Slamu found Caitlyn, MetalDream, and they both have found Breckenary right by the start. You know, that's if you're gonna find, if Breckenary is gonna be useful, it's usually right near the start. So there you go. Thank you, Breckenary, for not being useless today.
Yeah, I think Breckenary is a fine town to find. It has an inn, so if it's in the middle, no. The worst Breckenary is if it's right by something else, because then it really only has a shop. That's kind of not, you know, the herb shop's not close or whatever. But you know, if it's in the middle of nowhere and it's a good endpoint. Oh, I believe Slamu sees another town. I believe this is new.
Yeah, he's seeing red before he's seeing the town. He's going on the offensive, thinks his best chance to get through this is the Hurtmoors. And, you know, is he going to get it? It's a 116, and there we go. So he does get through it. Now, can he get to the town?
Yeah, we can't see a way through yet, but...
I haven't seen which way. Okay, there's definitely a path to that town. I haven't seen, and he's not going to it. He doesn't care. So even with 69 agility, this red dragon is proving to be a little tricky to get from, but he does. MetalDream does get away. Exploration is back on.
Back off. The red dragon says, nope.
Yeah, shades of, you know, Wayne's World. They're playing hockey on the street. They're like, game off, and then game on, and, well, the car's still coming. So you see Big Slamu hitting level 9 now, evening up on the level front, and still quite a ways behind in experience, but has kept even or slightly caught up over the last couple of minutes, which is a good sign for him. He wasn't really far behind, but his exploration has also been slightly more productive.
Well, I think MetalDream kind of sat and did some early, you know, grinding that helped get him the experience lead, while Slamu kind of has seen a lot more of the map. So that really explains the experience deficit. I was about to say, I'm not sure if one runner is ahead or behind, but now that Slamu's found keys, that's a huge thing in his favor. So if these keys lead to anything, I would put Slamu firmly in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it depends what there is, and then what else he's seen. Like, you know, he could possibly go back to Caitlyn for the coordinates now. I don't know, whatever's inside and underneath Tantagel could be important, but with Hurtmoor, everything is slightly less important. Does find a second cursed belt. Now we know there's 2 of them. 2 of the overworld search spots are guaranteed to have one of our 7 key items. Those search spots are, of course, the Cole search spot, the Caitlyn overworld search spot, and Hawksness. Another shop with not a very good selection, at least of what he wanted. MetalDream, however, did pick up level 10, and level 10 came with a smattering of stats, but the big one there, Heal More. So now 91 hit points and Heal More, 57 MP, really set to push exploration if he wants to. He's still here grinding. It might just be to get rid of the remaining resources, but level 10 seems to be the really strong exploration level here.
Yeah, I totally agree. So not only, you know, 19 HP, which is huge, but getting that Heal More spell makes it, that 19 HP, really valuable. So I would be surprised if MetalDream didn't start exploring a bit, finding his key items, trying to find, we got to find 3 things, at least. We got to find the Silver Harp, the Stones of Sunlight, and Erdrick's Token. We have found none of those. In addition to not finding, you know, stuff like the locations, Erdrick's Sword, Erdrick's Armor. So there's a lot for MetalDream to, and both runners, frankly, to go out and explore and try and find.
Yeah, as of right now, we've seen a combined total of 2 chests outside of the treasury. I believe Slamu found that torch in Remolder, and then the fairy flute in Tablet Cave, and that's it. So our actual treasure chest information is pretty dry, so there's not really anything to go on about who to go where, but it does seem like MetalDream has found something.
I believe this is the Tablet Cave.
I believe you were right.
Thanks, Radiant, for helping us out here.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable walking in the dark, but if I have a Radiant spell, and at least in Slamu's situation, no other magic, I'm probably going to use that. It looks like he might be giving up here on this blue dragon. Yeah, he's going back to start.
Yeah, I am not comfortable walking in the dark, and it actually cost me my tournament race. There was an Erdrick's Sword in a Tablet Cave, and my opponent DK found it very easily because he can walk in the dark, and I was like floundering around without a sword for like 30 minutes, and so that's how my tournament ended. So my off-season training is like I have 2 strategies. One is find a way to, learn the dark caves, and 2 is convince everybody to permanent torch in standard mode. So got a 2-pronged approach.
Oh, good luck with that second one, since you just announced to everybody that you're no good at it.
Well, that's why I have to do the first one. I have to prove that I can do it, and then I won't need it.
So inside of the treasury, I believe we saw a gold chest, some fairy water. It wasn't anything super interesting down there, but that gold could lead to a gold grind later. We've seen a lot of really expensive stuff from Slamu in these shops, so that might be on his mind. Anyway, underneath Tantasia, we have South Swamp.
Actually a really big cave for Slamu. So like one of the things that Slamu could find on his exploration, were these keys, which would lead to this, which is a gold grind, or a grind on an armored knight. Not sure I want to take that, but if this were an axe knight or a green dragon, that could be really huge for catching up and experience for Slamu. But it looks like 1 damage is not going to be enough to take out the armored knight, believe it or not. So Slamu would go back to start.
He tried, but yeah. So now I wonder if he's going to go right back through it. He might not. I don't know. Some people really go bonkers with Swamp, and it does look like he is going to go that way. So he's pretty close to level 10. I imagine that might be in his mind, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a quick outside.
Yeah, I would probably outside here. I'm not willing to take the armored knight at this point, at least until I get the armor. There's plenty to explore, including on the other side and outside into Garenham, which is a really great thing to find for Slamu.
Yes, and the chest glitch should already be active, I think, or maybe it's active after 1 chest. Or no, it'll be the last one. No, there we go. Yeah, so we don't know what was in that one, but if this next one is gold, he's going to be in good shape to take whatever he wants, and it is not. So there you go. No key items. Just an herb. He's really not. I
don't think it's an herb either. It was like a torch or something, not super relevant. But yeah, Slamu could have infinite grinded nothing. That would have been, an empty chest. But instead, we'll look for a shop. Here's some chainmail, some moderately priced things for Slamu's gold level right now. But also, we saw another town, so this exploration just keeps chaining into like more and more things that we can find, more and more possibilities. So I'm sure Slamu will see what this town is, while MetalDream, on the other hand, not really talking about him too much. He's just grinding away in this Druid Lord Spectre Armored Knight zone.
Yeah, sometimes just sitting on the grind is really the way to go. He did gain level 11, which came with sleep, I think, but just another smattering of stats. Again, I'm a little surprised he's not pushing out any exploration right now, but I don't know. We'll see. And anyway, we have Hawksnest now for Slamu.
Beatable, but not super likely. But landing the first hurt more, really important. These are 50-50s. Slamu hits 2 in a row. Huge thing, especially if this search is anything good.
And that is Erdrick's token, which is required, but not going to help a whole lot right now. I do want to respond to something that chat has brought up. Both of these spikes are pretty bad. Armor Knight and Blue Dragon are not great hurt more. Now, Armor Knight is never going to be a good fight. Well, once you have Erdrick's armor, it might be to swing on. Maybe not even with the hurt more, just because it's so MP intensive. But this experience gap may matter a lot now with these spikes being kind of mediocre.
Yeah, I think they're reasonable end-game grinds, but certainly not mid-game grinds, which is really in MetalDream's favor. Like you said, the experience lead over 1,200 right now, and only increasing as MetalDream sits and grinds, while Slammer goes out and explores. However, I did see, while Slammer was exiting Hawk's Nest, did see a cave in the bottom left of his screen. So I would imagine that's the next place we'll be going for Slammer.
And at this point, we haven't really seen any trade-ins, I don't think. But we also haven't seen mountain or grave or stones. Actually, we haven't seen a lot of caves, period.
Oh, hi, Sherlock. Always nice to not have to go find that as your last location.
Yeah, good to know. Good to... oh, that's not so good to know.
That's tough, and that's what I think the DL2 breath we saw earlier was on MetalDream's side, so I think that was an unpleasant surprise for Slammer.
We'll see if he heads right back. Like, part of me wonders if maybe it would be worth checking Cantlin for the coordinates, sooner than later, so you can make a decision about that princess and not keep walking past. But also worth noting, it's been about 8 to 10 minutes since MetalDream has gotten heal more, and Slamu has yet to get it. The experience gap, if we had our graphs, is just completely flatlined for Slamu right now.
Yeah, I think Slammer would be really well served to just get that Star Wyvern kill that we didn't get. Wow, another Sherlock enemy with Dragon Lord 2 breath. Stop me if you've heard this before. I think that's up to 3 now. We have Star Wyverns, Wizards, and Armored Knights.
Yep, it's looking to be rough, and Slamu is going right back. Now, I've mentioned before, one of the things that I think is somewhat unique for MetalDream, and I see this out of some other players like Tilo, tends to not keep doing the same thing over and over when it fails and tries to do something else. Right now, Slamu is just going straight back to the thing. And if this doesn't work out, if this is nothing interesting, this could be a something you could point to later that might have been a bit of a difference in the race.
All right, MetalDream swings on the Magician for level 12, which provides another modest bump, but stats are coming along pretty nicely. Doesn't look like a super sloggy seed.
And he did get his keys, so now he's in good shape. He might have been doing that. No, I think he was just trying to walk out before he decided to heal. I better check this. Slamu does finally get his heal more, and he's going to give us a peek at what's in here in just a second.
All right, this is the freebie cave, as I like to call it, or many people like to call it, and it is just gold, so not that big of a deal, honestly. So Slamu's exploration has been pretty good. He's found a lot of stuff, but none of the big ticket items. The grave, the mountain, which would get our armor or sword. The armor and sword would be the 2 big things that we're looking for. Or also like a good grind spot. Like he did find 2 grind spots, but neither of them were great.
Yeah, and he might also be wanting to find one of those enemy caves just so he could take the death warp for a gold grind. He could force it just through Garanham, but I think he would rather find something and do it that way if at all possible.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing. So the castle and Garanham are connected by the swamp cave. So the way you would get a grind out of Canagel would be to go to Garanham, open the 3 chests in the back, walk to the swamp cave, die in there, and then your gold grind would be active after you open 2 chests in the treasury. So that would be one way to do it. I don't know if I haven't been paying close attention to the weapon shops and stuff like that. I think we've seen a silver shield, but I think it was in Rimuldar, which is kind of far away. I don't know if we've seen like magic armor or like a flame sword or even a full plate.
And to answer a question for chat, I believe the way things are rolled when it comes to enemy abilities is that every enemy is rolled 50-50 to have them, then 50-50 to have a second one, and then it's a simple 1 in 4. There's no weighting involved whatsoever. So any enemy having DL2 breath requires, I think, 2 specific rolls, so 25% off the bat, and then another 1 in 4 inside of that. So 1 in 16 for any enemy to have DL2 breath, which means on average about 2 enemies a seed. 2 to 3 enemies should have it.
I just want to shout out to Angel FM for the raid. Angel is one of our fantastic runners I learned a lot from, and had a great series in the quarterfinals with Nest Cardinality.
Yeah, so now we're just kind of, figuring out the exploration here. Slamu, I think, he might have full cleared this whole continent. He might be going back to Garanham. I think he's going to heal up, and then he might try going east, because I don't think he's been that way yet, but he is heading back to Garanham.
This looks like actually a new town. Or no, this is Garanham. This is Garanham. Great.
Yeah, we saw the Staff of Rain Cave a little bit northeast of it. Like, his exploration hasn't been bad. It's just he's not gaining experience anywhere close to what MetalDream is. Kind of needs MetalDream to spend the same amount of time in towns that he has been recently to kind of slow his roll down, I suppose you could say. Now, I couldn't quite get the broadsword. I don't know if that's exactly what he wanted. Slamu did buy the half plate. It was a possibility that maybe I don't think he could have sold that cursed belt he had. It wasn't quite enough, or I'm not even sure if he picked it up now that I think about it.
Yeah, I also don't think a weapon is terribly important at this stage. We haven't seen stuff like, well, now here's the green dragon, stuff that you'd want to like hurt more plus swing on, and both grind tiles are not very good for having a weapon. So actually, like I could see Slammer going the entire seed without buying a single weapon, provided he finds the sword, Erdrick's sword, at some point.
Oh, here we go. Now the eastern path from the start. We'll see if he's able to find anything over here. Nope. Okay, so Swamp Island is done. I do wonder if we'll see him do a forced gold grind now. If he didn't, he might as well just swing on the Armor Knight to take the death to warp back, although he is very close to level 11. Now, MetalDream, I believe, is walking through Swamp underneath, and has found an Axe Knight. Very good enemy to fight with Hurtmore. Magic Wyvern's another very good enemy to fight. Slamu was outsiding after the first time, and I don't think he saw either of these the first time he was through there, so kind of, I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad luck for Slamu, but it's definitely better for MetalDream to see those enemies.
I'm curious if Metal will be happy taking an Armor Knight grind. Maybe doesn't feel like he needs to right now, but earlier in the season with much worse resources, he was actively happy to take them. So you will find out that there are Armor Knights here, and let's see what he does.
Yeah, he's been more than happy to fight these things, and yeah, seeing Slamu not cast Return, he is setting up a gold grind, I'm almost certain here, and we'll see what he's able to do with it. Again, I don't know if we've seen everything, but I think we've seen almost everything. And plus, if at worst he knows there's Cantlin out there, which he hasn't been to, and that might be perfect for his exploration to just go there directly from here.
Yeah, and I believe chat said earlier that there's a flame sword and a silver shield right near home in Breckenary. So getting just a silver shield would be a pretty big deal, and so these make sense here. I also like Slammer here, like, hey, if I could take out a couple Axe Knights on the way, that sounds great. I'll get a level 11, maybe a little bit more. And if you fail on to kill one of them, that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to die anyway. So I like this a lot. So grind as long as the Armor Knight will let you.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Also, do want to point out I was a little bit wrong. I said a little bit. I might be being nice, but I was incorrect about my current thing about that. Magru was nice enough to detail it, so I won't try to read it all out loud. You can read it in chat, but a little bit more solid. And he is casting outside, which that's fine. That's right. It took him the wrong direction, but he doesn't have to fight the Armor Knight again.
Oh, I like. I suggested dying to the Armor Knight, but you don't have to die to set up this grind. Instead, Slammer is going to rescue the princess and walk. He does have to remember to check in with the king, enter the king's room to activate the gold grind.
And that'll work pretty naturally, actually, because he can do the gold grind, then save the gold grind while he's rescuing the princess. It's always nice when things line up all at once. Unlike for MetalDream, where this NPC is just blocking the end. That was about 15 seconds of just NPCs standing right in front of the innkeeper there.
This was a little bit before my time, but I remember I've heard that the Cantlin shops used to have like the vanilla thing, so it would like the shopkeeper would walk away from when you could talk to him. I found that so frustrating when I was playing the game. It's just like, let me buy some stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the vanilla game, so there's a lot of things about it that I scratch my head on. But this was the game breaking thing that has unlocked so much stuff, and it makes for such a very basic but complex randomizer. Not hard to learn, but extraordinarily hard to master.
Yeah, one of the things that appealed to me about this randomizer, one, I played the game a lot, growing up, and then two, is just like an easy randomizer. I don't have to learn any of these like, clips or like glitches, or the glitches are like, everything is easy for me to understand to do, and like that's really appealing. Hard to do well, as you said. That's also really appealing to me. So I think this randomizer is phenomenal.
All right, good. I don't have to kick you out of the booth now.
I appreciate that. All right, so, here's the gold grind from Slamu. Let's see, how much he goes for. I would expect, if he's seen the Flame Sword Silver Shield, at least that. But I would probably just do all 32,500 and hope to find either a full plate or a magic armor.
Yeah, whenever you have Cantlin on your list of places to go and you haven't really checked the shops, just always go max, I think. I'm usually not that big about it, but there's just a decent likelihood you're going to find whatever you're missing there. Meanwhile, MetalDream did hit level 13, another strong hit point boost. We're closing in on endgame stats with just about everything except for strength. So, level 13 isn't it. Level 14 could be it. I don't know. Does chat have any thoughts about that one? And yeah, chat is expressing their opinion about the fact that it seemed like Slamu could have aligned all of the things in one go and, talked to Lorik at the perfect time. And maybe that's my fault for mentioning it that way, but it's hard to always think about that stuff when you're in the rhythm.
No, you have to at least enter the throne room.
Oh, good point.
Get the grind.
Yeah, in that case.
So once you're in the throne room, the king's right there. You might as well, chat.
Yeah, very good point. So, I'll take it back. There we go. Anyway, it looks like MetalDream has explored the western half of Swamp Island. We'll see him do the northern half here, and then maybe dip back into Garanham because of the Armor Knights being such a nuisance around here. and then heading east. So we just throw out the repel though. 60 defense, he's repelling everything Rogue Scorpion south. So he's not going to see a whole lot of enemies except for those Armor Knights, I don't think. And there we go. What did Breckenary have for Slamu? Flame Sword and Silver Shield. So unless he knows exactly where the magic armor is and really wants it, not be surprised if we see him bolt for Caitlyn at this point. Maybe visit the inn.
Definitely visit the inn. We're almost out of resources. So, yes, I would also highly suspect that Slamu will go to Caitlyn.
You know, swinging on Blue Dragons is a little odd, but just because the AP is low and you have Hurt More, and those are two things that don't always kind of align with each other. But I don't know, he's having some success. And Slamu is pushing out. I guess Caitlyn is over here. I kind of forgot where it was.
Yeah, I know Rimuldar is to the west, and Caitlyn was not close to her, because I think Slamu found Caitlyn before Rimuldar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and Rimuldar was southwest. Rimuldar, like we always pronounce it differently, no matter who says it.
I mean, no, but you never hear anyway. There's probably not an official way to say it. It's just like however we decide to say it. You know, you can only read it, so people are going to pronounce it differently.
Yeah, I looked up the Wikia page, and there's no pronunciation for Rimuldar, so it's up to our own imagination. I think in the Japanese, it's probably something like Rimuldaru. Rimuldar, I like that. Actually, in Japanese, it's probably like Rimuludaru, because they don't like those N consonants a lot.
All right, do we have coordinates? 26, northeast.
Oh man, yeah, somewhere Yogi the Monk is getting really excited about the possibility of a diagonal count.
So Yogi the Monk in the training tournament kind of unveiled this as a what he calls a diagonal count, where you just walk, you know, in this case you walk up and right at the same time, and then you won't have to count both coordinates. You just count one way. And when I saw that, my mind was blown. I'm like, wow, this is great. Like, I would have never thought to do that on my own.
So, and he had to sell something to buy the dragon scale. That's always a little bit painful. We see the immediate Radish check again. He hasn't equipped it yet, so he's obviously purposefully doing this specifically to spite Kappa Strip.
How long do you think Slammer will go without equipping it? Using it, you know, okay. Now's an interesting time. I thought he was going to leave town and then equip it.
Yeah, radishes do nothing. It's just a meme. It's a meme that I think has been popularized by Slamu specifically. So, I don't know. He's way, way too far to the east to bother with this, but it looks like he's just going to rely on that princess and not hand count it anyway and be like, I didn't need you after all. The problem with the princess, though, and I am the jokingly hashtag never Gwaylin guy, like I try to do everything I can to not rescue her. The one problem is that you tend to use Gwaylin's love about 4 times when you're checking the coordinates. So it's not just that you have to rescue her and then do that, it's that you have to do this as well. But he's almost there. He's going to get it in just a second. And huzzah! It is the Death Necklace, an item that he probably will use the way that MetalDreamx stats look right now.
Yeah, the Death Necklace comes into play and generally in seeds where you have high HP, which we do, and low strength, which we do. So the Death Necklace in the vanilla game does absolutely nothing except for curses you. Well, no, it does something. When you equip it, you lose 25% of your max HP, and the king won't talk to you. He just kicks you out of the castle. It does all that in the randomizer too, but then it also gives you 10 strength, which can be very useful for fighting the Dragon Lord on these low strengths. And so Slammer finds the grave here, so we get 5 checks or 3 checks, depending on what Slammer does.
Does see a torch in the first one? He keeps the torch. Well, they don't have perma torch on, so you usually want to have one if possible. Stones of Sunlight in the second chest. That's another key item. We got 2 now. And the harp just next door. So there you go. So will he consider diving grave? Will he deep dive? I kind of feel like he is if he's not thrown outside out right now. But no, he's just going to walk out because, I don't know. I guess he just doesn't want to use the MP.
So if we're looking at what does Slammer need to find, he needs to find Erdrick's sword and Erdrick's armor. There are lots of checks that Slammer has left to do, and perhaps 5 of them are right here in the mountain cave. But deep grave takes a couple minutes. Some people don't like it, but it is 2 checks, and if one of those items is down there, that's super valuable.
And man, mountain and grave near each other, so he might actually know if he needs to dive deep grave when he's done here, because at this point, I think he's done. Yeah, I think he's seen all the overworld search spots, so this is the only spot left that he needs to check besides deep grave.
Yeah, and so this is a really nice find. So if this mountain cave is empty, Slammer will have more clarity on if he should dive grave or not. Both items could still be in Sharlock proper, but if the grave is right here, I think that's an easier check than trying to dive Sharlock already. But yeah, great finds for Slammer here. So we're looking for Erdrick's sword or Erdrick's armor, and not gold.
And it could be neither. We could have both in Sharlock, which would just be great, I guess. I mean, they got the gold grind, so it's not like it's the worst thing in the world, but you... I don't know. I always grit my teeth a little bit when it's both. Yep, Fighter's Ring pickup. That's nice. Torch. You can just toss that sucker. And don't need that. Also, I want to do this while it's still up on screen. The pronunciation of Remolder in Japanese, if my Duolingo serves me right, is Rimuru Deru. So that's what we're going to call it from now on. All right?
That's what you're going to call it from now on, not me. I'll keep it at Rimeldar or Remolder.
I'm pretty sure it's more like Rimurdaru, like, because I know they truncate some of their syllables, especially U's. They don't like U's. And yeah, Mountain Cave had the Fighter's Ring and not a lot. MetalDream is just about finishing up the gold grind. Went a little heavy, probably going to buy a couple of keys or something like that on the way out. But Slammu, is Slammu back to grave, or is he still looking around for something? And for the record, I do not recommend using Duolingo. I just mentioned that as a joke. Seed not sponsored by Duolingo. Well, hey, he found Jerk, I think, or Jerk Cave or Rainbow Drop Cave. I think we're trying not to call him Jerk so much. Well, maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, he's not actually that mean. He gives you a very important item. So, I never thought of the Rainbow Drop Cave as the Jerk Cave, because I need a Rainbow Drop in every seed I play, so only one way to get it. So, nice guy cave.
If I'm doing a DWR race review on my seed and there's some foul language in one of the race rooms, I'll pop up the Duolingo owl to just kind of block it. So it looks like he's taking a pit stop. MetalDream is still working to get that magic armor. Oh, he's finding the caves over here. I don't think he's seen these before. Is this the?
No, this is new for Metal and pretty big for Because you have to go find these caves before you dive Charlotte.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that are those Graven Mountain again?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Well, this enemy, by the way, might be the best thing that Slamu could see right now. He's still not in great shape to fight red dragons, but he has a massive, massive experience debt right now, and there is no such thing as a good grind in those grind spots. So. Maybe if he had found Erdrick's armor, the armor knight underneath Tantagel could be pretty sweet, but this experience gap is huge, and he needs something like a red dragon spot to try to claw back.
Yeah, I mean, Slamu does have somewhat of an exploration advantage, but that is shrinking. As MetalDream finds these two caves, the Turn-In Cave is also relatively close. So if MetalDream finds that, that's another, exploration advantage from Slamu kind of just goes away. But yeah, Slamu does have a lot of experience to make up. So I would say MetalDream, once MetalDream finds all these caves, has a pretty significant lead.
Running away from the blue dragons, again, we saw MetalDream fighting those earlier, and we do mention Metal is diving Grave right now. If this is, I think Slamming is right here too, so we'll just get to see the goodies a little bit earlier on his side, and he's taking it to this golem, got a crit in there, and doing some serious damage.
Aaron, are you a flute enjoyer? Are you willing to use the fairy flute at any point, at any time?
Yeah, except when I can swing heal more through it. So I probably would not be doing it in this scenario, but maybe by the time I find the second or third one, my resources are starting to suffer a little bit. And I think that Cursed Belt is telling us that at least one Erdrick's item is in Charlock.
Yeah, there's only one chest left, and I don't think that we can have two items in one chest yet.
And that was an interesting move. MetalDream bailing out after the second thing to check Mountain Cave. I don't know if that means he's leaving the last one or if he's just so concerned about the other cave and wondering what he was doing, but bailed before the fifth check. It's unique.
Yeah, I don't see that too often. Usually you either take the 3 at the top, which are pretty accessible, or you just do all 5. The kind of 4. The 5th one is significantly farther down than the 4th one. But usually you kind of commit to, doing both of them and not just one of them.
Yeah, it's odd, but and it's really, really like super duper especially odd knowing that he's going to want to check that before he does Charlock. When it's armor that you're missing, what he did it. Is he like accidentally testing outside?
I believe MetalDream mismenued. Was on the tile and cast outside instead of doing anything else, honestly.
Right,
I think he wanted to re-up his repel and just cast outside.
Oh gosh, yeah. I can't count the amount of times I've accidentally cast return trying to cast repel. It's so rough.
I mean, I'll say a few words that I'm sure every runner has heard a lot, which is there is no one there. Which happens when you talk to nobody, which I do all the time.
Yeah, so now Slamu has to choose between grinding or Charlock, and I don't exactly remember. I don't know. These stats don't feel great for a dive and grind Charlock, to be honest. And he has seen it. He knows it's on the second continent. So maybe he's trying to remember where... No, he knows where the Staff of Rain Cave is. He's seen it. That would be a great place to go right now, but he needs to go through Swamp, and Swamp is underneath Tantagel. So he is doing something.
So the something is doing something we have not mentioned, but chat is on it. We haven't seen Cole.
Oh, that's right. Cole wasn't the first town. For some reason, I thought it was.
That's a really important thing. So Cole has a search spot. We know that the search spot is active because we've seen all of our belts. Have we seen all of it? Well, we've seen at least 2 of our belts. But yeah, that's what Slammer is doing, is finding our elusive Cole that somehow we have we haven't seen in a while. And we have seen all 3 belts. That's what I thought. So Cole is going to have one of our goodies.
Oh yeah, I'm shocked that I screwed that up. So I did want to mention one other thing. I think Slamu has been riding Repel pretty hard, being this far behind in experience, even though the fights might not be super great. At 86 defense, he's repelling everything but 7 enemies in the game, and that is a lot. And I wonder if that's contributing a little bit to this gap, that he's not getting any of those nice, interesting mid-game enemies.
Right, and also on top of that is Slamu doesn't want to take a lot of these enemies. Like we saw him running from a blue dragon, so it's like, okay, what enemies are you willing to fight? You know, you're trying to fight the I guess Star Wyverns are not quite repelled. I forget what their defense is. Is it 88?
Green Dragon's 88, yeah.
Green Dragon's 88. Okay, so yeah, not quite repelling those. So it's like basically only Green Dragons, Armor Knights, Red Dragons. He's not fighting Stoneman. I don't think he'd fight a Golem. He might fight a Golem. I would probably fight a Golem.
Yeah, now Slamu is going to just go ahead and turn it in. He's going to take care of this. He might go back that direction as MetalDream finds our elusive Cole, which was in the direction of where Jerk Cave was, so...
There it is. There's Erdrick's armor. Huge find, as it always is.
It's really, really good for MetalDream and really, really bad for Slamu, because I think what Slamu needs with this gap was something that was going to kind of interfere with the normal progress of the seed, like having to dive Sharlock for armor. And now that it's not, really, even more so than before, I think MetalDream is just fully in front of the seed. He is going to have to find Caitlyn. That's something I don't think he's found yet. Hasn't done the coordinates, and he will probably check that for the sword.
Yeah, he doesn't have to. It is the Death Necklace. So I actually think it would be reasonable, if to find, if you can't find Caitlyn too easily, just like ignore it, and dive Sharlock. Go to the place where you know where it is, and it's the place you don't. You have to walk all over to find. But
yeah,
Cole, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I'm with chat here. What Schmeik is saying, with full knowledge of cursed belts, missing 2 key items, and Caitlyn being out there, there is a 50% chance it's sword, or if it's not, it's the Death Necklace, which looks highly required in the way the stats are building out right now.
So one thing I was going to comment on is, like, looking at MetalDream's side, Cole is way out here. It is cross a bunch of bridges and through narrow paths, and just kind of hard to get at. Although Slamu's not on track here. But yeah, that is a huge find for MetalDream, and I could see Slamu not finding this for quite some time.
Well, I would say, I don't want to just keep being contrary here, but I think he's cleared everything else except for that area. Like, I don't know what else he's got to do. I never really know exactly how mapping and things work with Slamu, because I never asked, but that could be an element. And we did see level 15 on MetalDream's side, which with the sword, is that go level with the sword? And the Death Necklace?
Not. It's very sketchy. It's so 100. You'd like 129 HP for the Death Necklace. It is, if MetalDream felt behind, I feel like he could go. He would have to find the Death Necklace and the sword. But fortunately for him, he has found Caitlyn. And he will be on his way to finding the Death Necklace at least. I would absolutely be trying to get another level if I were MetalDream.
Well, he might get it on accident, just wandering around. He's already quite a ways up. But it also, since he needs the sword, it might be worth diving to try to win. And if things break up along the way, just start taking fights. Well, meanwhile, look, Slamu has wandered right into Cole.
Wow, incredible. 2 very important things just happened. So first, Slamu found Cole. finds his armor. That's very big for him. It means he's still in the race. If he had put this off a while, I think he'd be sunk. But MetalDream has even up the radish score. He has found his radishes. So MetalDream will get favorable RNG for the remainder of the seed.
I do believe that puts our total radish count 2 for Slamu, 1 for MetalDream, so he's still got the edge there, but 1 is infinitely better than 0, as any mathematician would tell you. So MetalDream does have to do a few turn-ins here. I think... Oh, he's doing the count right now. There we go. We'll see if he's able to nail that one. And it looks like Slamu is going to head for the Armor Knight, which with Erdrick's armor is probably a pretty good fight. But MetalDream is also not doing the diagonal count, so somewhere Yogi is shedding a tear.
As am I. I thought for sure MetalDream would do a diagonal count, but a regular count, not too bad. And the MetalDream now has the death necklace.
And there we go. So all MetalDream needs to do now is warp back and take care of business. Although he is probably going to check grave 5 and might be. I think he's going to be kicking himself either way here. I don't think you're like, even if it's nothing, you're like, why didn't I just clear this before? You know, whatever happens, it's this part is going to be annoying. He might just again end up with level 16 before anything.
Yeah, taking this red dragon implies that you're going to level 16.
Well, I have a hard time not fighting any red dragon I come across, to be honest. And
if you could take it, yeah, 350 is just so many experience points.
And it looks like Slamu is going with the hurt more swing strat on the Armor Knight. His AP is way too low to rely on getting it in, one-shotting it at all. Now, level 14, he'll be kind of close. Level 15, 110 AP is usually when you start to think that's a good idea.
So MetalDream being back in grave implies that he made a mistake or, did not intentionally. Because I just think if you intentionally leave the grave after doing the 4th chest, that you're just like, okay, if it's a 5th chest, I'm sunk. But I don't, I find diving the grave here to be very, very strange after diving it twice and not dying is kind of weird.
Well, it is worth, it's not a big time loss to go all the way back, but the fact that he did walk all the way back here, it's not like he saved a whole lot of time by warping out. So I do wonder if that was an accident as well.
Yeah, it could have very well been.
Although it's weird because outside isn't that close to repel. It's kind of, I think it's more of a mental thing, like thinking about the spell, going to cast the other one and just hitting the wrong thing. It has to be what it'd have to be, I imagine.
Wasn't too bad, but looks like MetalDream is going to the same spot Slammer is at. While it is true that he will get to this spot much later, he will do so with a massive, massive experience lead. So, looks like MetalDream is in the driver's seat as long as they're both, because they've all done the same checks. They both cleared the thing. They both still have to go to the Rainbow Drop Cave.
Well, Slamu did pick up the Rainbow Drop. I think we just missed that. Because I remember it being in that weird, tucked-in cave on the right side of the map. So MetalDream has some turn-ins to do. I think he's going to press those before considering the grind, considering there's a grind right there. But I don't know. The gap was a little over 3,000. It's shrinking, but it's not going to shrink fast enough for this to be even by the time he gets the things. Responding to chat, Fried Camel, that means that's the audio that's being used. So that's the trumpet, that's where the noise is coming from. It's quite a ways to the Rainbow Drop Cave. It's probably the furthest thing from start, maybe Cole, but it is quite a walk. So And with that repel going in 93 defense, he can only see Axe Knights, Blue Dragons, Stonemen, Armor Knights, Golems, and Red Dragons, which I imagine about all he'd want to see anyway.
Yeah, chat making a good point. Is like repel is actually really nice because we are no longer encountering specifically wizards and star wyverns, which are tough enemies that have DL2 breath. So not having to encounter those is huge. So definitely gold silver shield coming in clutch this seed.
Yeah, and it was just very natural to get that since you were gold grinding for everything else. It was possible to find Erdrick's armor before that, but Cole was so far away that you're not surprised that it didn't happen.
Yeah, and chat making good speculation is, do you think Slammer will try and go at level 15? It is a very, very iffy level. You have to walk down and get the sword. But does Slammer feel, far enough behind that he's willing to take I'll say, low percentage or middling percentage to actually have a successful dive?
I think Slamu is inclined to not do it, but if he has a good sense of how this race is going, I think he will. I think it's down to that sort of impulse, but I think normally speaking, he's not going in this scenario.
Yeah, I might like the strategy for Slammer that you talked about earlier, where you exhaust your resources, get some percentage of level 16, and then start diving. And if it starts going bad, just fight a bunch of things, take the level, get your sword, reset, and then go back at 16. So you kind of do an optional, see how your Sharlock dive goes. Helps determine your strategy. But Metal definitely just committing to getting level 16 before dive. I feel like Metal feels like 15 is not goable at all. So getting 16 first.
And McGrew has confirmed the name of Remolder is Rimuru Deru, and maybe feeding the conspiracy theory that that particular anime might be in some route based off of Dragon Quest, since it's about a slime, and yeah. Rimuru Deru. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, we're kind of at the we're waiting to just see how the grind goes part. This isn't working out super great for Slamu. The best thing could be if he was able to get 15 on this run, but he's going to be short of resources, and probably he's going to take one more fight. I wouldn't have been surprised if he just outsighted to warp back to save a couple seconds, because it wasn't going to be able to get 15 on this anyway. MetalDream definitely going for 16 though, as we see. Okay, Rimuru Daru. There we go. Hopefully. Last time I'm going to try it. And when you see the stats for the Armored Knight up there, 75% stop spell, 50% DL2 fire. Feel like the stop spell isn't coming through as promised, though. It seems like we're seeing too much of the other stuff.
I think part of that might have been the earlier part of the seed where the stop spell landed a bunch. So, but yeah, in this grind, I haven't really seen either runner get fire breathed all that often.
But there we go, level 16 with a 2047, and MetalDream is immediately out. He is going. Those extra hit points make the Death Necklace fairly safe, considering their extraordinarily high defense. Did pick up another... No, I don't think he picked up another heal more. Maybe he just barely did. I'm trying to remember. But either way, this feels like a lot stronger position. And if he has some fairy water, the dive is going to feel real nice.
Yeah, certainly when we talk about fairy water has two uses in Sharlock. First one that most people are familiar with is you get to deal 9 to 16 damage to the Dragon Lord. That's more than what 132 attack power will do, which is what we'll get.
Actually, I think we'll be
Oh.
at 134.
134, right? So it's about what 134 will do, right? I did not count the fighter's ring. But I think what the good use for Metal Dream here is use it as repel, so we don't have to fight some of the lower tier Charlock enemies, like the aforementioned Star Wyverns and Wizards or whatever, that we really don't want to fight. So I think that's the use for the Fairy Water here.
Yeah, and from what we've seen, Red Dragons seem to have no abilities, so they're still going to be a bit of a pain. But the Armor Knights themselves are weaker than normal with the stop spell spam. So you think coming in, this dive should not be too tricky, but obviously Charlock's going to do what Charlock's going to do.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Most of our stats are good. Like, we have high HP. I like high HP, so we could take a couple hits. Our agility is very high, so that we can run. So it will be as safe of dive as any Charlock dive can be. There's certainly a lot of variance in the encounter rate and your ability to run.
All right, Slamu is still taking a very long look at this, while Metal Dream has cleared the first floor, the first zone, and is almost halfway through the second one. Finally meets a red enemy, gets away immediately. And 86 agility is 50-50 to run from the Armor Knights, and about 47% from Red Dragons.
I suppose it's about to come up. We are in Charlock. We don't have all the items we need. So that means it is time for the pyramid game. So Charlock's treasury has 6 chests kind of arranged in a pyramid. And so you can do the either 50, 100, and a 50, 150 are on the bottom. Then you have 200, 250 in the middle row. Or the top one is 300, just like the old Dick Clark pyramid game. Or for, some reason you want to go for the vanilla sword chest, we call that affectionately the judges table. So you can vote for that. So that's what the JT in chat means.
And you got like 7 seconds. Well, maybe longer if this Armor Knight
yeah,
stops to go.
I'm an optimist. I always go for the $50 chest.
I always say 250 because it's higher than 222, and that's the number I would like to say. But yes, very important. Slamu is diving, and we saw Red Dragons in the first zone. I don't think we saw those on Metal Dream side.
Aha, I win again. It was the $50 chest. It's a 150 chest. I lose again.
So congratulations to everybody who said 150. Identify yourselves. We need to know where to have RPG Limit Break mail you the very large check.
Oh, I thought we just mailed them the sword.
Also, I've been told that I need to tell everyone that RPG Limit Break will not be mailing anybody any checks. Do not expect that to happen, and I'm sorry.
And I guess I should say that we won't be mailing any swords either. Not mailing anything to anybody.
But now we are
definitely not a death necklace. That's for sure.
Yeah, we see an Axe Knight for the spike here at the end. That is nothing. Metal Dream is coming in here with a... if he's able to keep all of his resources, even the DN here, he's at a very significant advantage in this fight. 134 AP, which is about 13 swings, and he currently has 13 heal mores, which by our normal Dragon Lord math puts him at +2 swings. That is somewhere around 95% odds. So now that I've talked him all up, let's see how he does.
Yeah, I feel like talking about how far Metal is ahead is against the Dragon Lord is probably a commentator's curse. So I will just wish Metal Dream the best of luck on his Dragon Lord fight. Looks to be in good shape. Defense breaking the Dragon Lord. That's awesome. Deal 1.
Like, stop touching me, dude. All right, he does lose the opening extra hit there with that ambush, but rolls a 12. Damage range is 8 to 17. Second swing there, 13, brings us to 25. I hope somebody in chat is going to count because I will lose track almost immediately.
Same, I barely know how to count, so you don't want me to count.
Again, 13, he's rolling pretty much average to above average, which is great. Do that right now. Oh, and as soon as I say that, we get the 8, which is a min roll. That is not what you want to see. Again, he's coming in at +2, so he can spare a few bad rolls. Not a lot. You can't have the RNG completely go against you in these fights. And again, in this situation with 99 max hit points, you are somewhat reliant upon the Dragon Lord to not go completely bonkers and overload you with hurt, or, you know, breath after breath. You need those decent heal mores to come through.
Well, more importantly, you need your heal mores to heal you to full. Your max is 99 HP. If you don't go to full, you're liable at 96. You're sometimes at risk of having to heal more twice in a row, which is, you know, MetalDream's in good shape, but not in that good of shape that he could just burn extra heal mores.
Yeah, the rolls are plenty fine right now. He hasn't lost any heal mores, and he is, you know, there's a 9. That's not great, but still in very solid shape to finish this out.
Yeah, if we're at 137 right now, we're pretty much set. So don't look now, but Slamu on the bottom floor. I'm sorry, like a level behind what Metal is, but Metal finishes up while Slamu is just about to reach the spike tile. So
yeah, GG's out in chat from MetalDream really kind of controlled this race. That extended grind at the beginning of the... Oh, okay, go the right direction. Thank you. He's having a heart attack there. He's like stuck on the water. But GG's to MetalDream. Final time of 1:19:21 is going to bring this series to an even 1-1 with Game 3 coming on Sunday.
Yeah, very good for MetalDream. Like, I'm really happy we get to see a Game 3. These two runners are both amazing. I'm just happy we get to go to a Game 3 and see these two runners put on yet another show.
And we do see Slamu. It's a little bit tighter in his scenario. That 132 attack power, 14 swings. He has 12 heal mores. He has very little margin for error here. He might end up getting an extra swing out of it after all, but if he's able to keep his hit points up and does not get ambushed, unlike MetalDream.
With that, I believe we have MetalDream in the chat to join us. GG's and congratulations.
Thank you so very much. It feels amazing to get a W on Slamu.
Yeah, not many people can hashtag beat Slamu, but you played a great race. Do you kind of want to talk us through your basic strategy? What were you thinking? What do you think the big inflection points of the seed were for you?
To be honest, my play is insanely similar to Slamu. When I saw the early hurt more, I knew priority number 1 was to find somewhere to get XP because I knew that he would do the same. Getting all the DL2s while trying to find those zones did not feel too great. But overall, it felt alright. I'm not too proud of free-diving grave just for one chest, but I had like the sinking feeling when I got the 3rd belt that, you know, it could have been down there. And when I saw that necklace at the coordinates, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I had to go and dive it and get it off my mind. But overall, it was great.
Yeah, so a couple points of divergence. You said you had a similar style to Slamu, but you had a lot of divergence early on. So Slamu had a hard time finding the regular slimes, so went everywhere trying to find something. And you were way out on the hurt more. You were already finding your grind by the time Slamu got his, you know, first level 3 basically. And you just had a huge experience lead the entire seed, while Slamu had a pretty somewhat sizable exploration lead for a while. But you definitely, your exploration went pretty well. And yeah, you were definitely Slammer was fighting the Dragon Lord at level 15 here.
And he is having a very rough go. These rolls have been absolutely terrible. He's come close to losing Healmore multiple times, and yeah, another. Okay, that's it. And with a 246 back to back, Slamu has been taken out by the Dragon Lord and has put up the DNF. So GG Slamu, rough race, but a rough fight there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice that there was a zero pressure on that Dragon Lord fight, but I took a page out of Metal's book there and swung, 2 swings below expectation.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on vengeance there, but I definitely know how you feel about not rolling too great.
Yeah, so the Slammer, do you want to kind of talk us through your experience with the seed, like kind of what you thought the big, inflection points decision that you made? Where do you feel like, you were doing well or not doing well?
Yeah, I mean, 9 minutes to Breckenary was brutal. I mean, slimes and red slimes were the only reasonable targets. Technically, a ghost would have been reasonable, but I couldn't seem to find a ghost while I was on max HP. So, yeah, I felt real bad out of the gates when I found Breckenary and knew I could, 3 fairy waters, 3 torches, and yeah, that didn't feel great. And then I feel like I overexplored again, but Hurtmore at 3, and I couldn't find the zone. A little bit of wrong direction because Rimaldar was south and Cantlin was north, and I went to Cantlin first. And then the last little bit of time lost was missing Cole, the first pass through in the northeast there. I thought I had seen everything, and there was that little path that missed it, and I knew I didn't have a whole lot of time to give, and I gave a little too much time.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment of the seeds. So what if I told you that you were actually first to Breckenary, but Metal already fought 5 slimes, just like sat there and grinded and got his Hurtmore for, actually had quite a bit of experience when you found Breckenary, if I'm remembering correctly.
I was gonna say I didn't know if Hurtmore was 2 or 3, and that totally changes the game either way, right? If it's 2, I'm in trouble. If it's 3, I'm good. But my first kill was the droll that gave me 18. So I was level 3 when I got the Hurtmore. So I don't know which one it came at, but
it was 3, but level 2 gave double-digit strength. So
okay.
MetalDream was able to fight more than it wasn't 17 slimes to level 2.
Yeah. No, it was just 5 slimes, and I mean, I couldn't tell if the slimes were zone 0 or that zone 1 north-south, and I just couldn't get a beat on it, so I figured I'd check every direction at least to try to find it.
Yeah, and to kind of add on to what you're saying with the exploration, I think you were the first to find everything in this seed except for Cole, which MetalDream was able to get there. If you are curious, and maybe you'll probably watch this back, kind of the big inflection point here was the fact that you were exploring, and even though you found some interesting things, MetalDream was just churning out experience out in that Breckenary area, even with the Armored Knights, who were pretty scary. But and I think MetalDream, you said that you thought you had to grind really heavy because you were going against Slamu, and it wound up that was kind of a very important thing in this race.
Yeah, definitely. The AKs were not great, but the stop spells seemed frequent, and I thought, if only just one of them could fizzle, it would be pretty big. And I just decided to bite the bullet and just stay there. And even if the Spectres had the DL2 and whatnot, the Drune Lords were good as well. I just said, screw it, I'm just gonna stay here until it's nice to go.
Yeah, and that had to be 75% of the stop spell, right? I mean,
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And so your decision to grind there, I think, Metal, was the really big inflection point in the seed. You just had a huge EXP lead, and you had the 100 HP and heal more and all that, and that was really big for you.
Yeah, there was more HP today than there was on Tuesday to go explore around with, but still no healing. I bought my herbs this time. I learned from last time, but wasn't quite enough. And honestly, while I was exploring, the moment I found a good zone, I was gonna sit, and I just couldn't find a good zone.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot. Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. Is like Metal found a bad zone, but good enough. And I certainly didn't feel like there was a lot of great enemies, just in the whole thing. Like we didn't see very many Magic Wyverns, Axonites. You found a green dragon once, Slamu.
Yeah,
but it was like contaminated, I think.
West of Cantlin, and it had Star Wyverns with it, and I didn't have the armor or enough HP at that point. So
Yeah, I had something similar. Like when I first ventured in that northern channel, I died to a green dragon. My hurt more fizzled. I couldn't kill it, and I never returned. I went on the other side of swamp and did everything over there and saw Heart Cave, and thought, oh man, it would have been so great to have come here with the harp and not have to later on do a second go and go trade and then warp back to the castle, go to Jerk, and then re-go in swamp. It's just a lot of back and forth.
yeah, I definitely did the double walk through there as well. It does not feel good double dipping that second continent and then double dipping that far northeast for the rainbow drop turn in.
Well, GG Slamu. This is probably just like my first win against you or something like that.
No, we are actually, I believe I checked this, we are basically 50-50 against each other. I don't recall any other races, but the Miplet tool told us that we were 2-2, I think, after this. So
really,
yeah, don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, that means game 3 on Sunday is for maybe not all of the marbles, but some percentage of the marbles. It should be a really exciting race. It is on Sunday. Is that true?
Currently, I might have some openings if it's easier for you to not schedule at midnight. So I'll ping you after this and see if there's a better option out there for you.
Yeah, as long as it suits you, my friend. For sure, if we can do it a bit earlier, that would be fantastic. But whatever works for you.
Definitely. It's a funny thing. So I just pulled it back up. The last time we faced off prior to Tuesday was in the SRL days.
And that's a long time ago.
So we're talking about like three plus years ago.
Yeah, did anything even exist back then? I'm unaware of.
It still exists. There's this old website that was based on an IRC client called Speedruns Live, and you'd have to join an IRC chat to play the game. It felt like I was back in the MSN gaming zone.
Yeah, I think I managed 2 races on SRL, but I also at one point had like 20 more races than anybody else on race time because it hadn't migrated over. It's great.
Oh, those were the days. But no, this will be good. Honestly, I'm excited for game 3. Feel like I haven't put a perfect game up yet, so it's time for an improvement out of me. I'm excited knowing who our final boss is. Right, looking forward to that. That's it's a daunting task, and I'm excited for one of us to get there. We'll just see who it is.
Well, as I said in the opening, there are no underdogs remaining in the tournament. Everybody here is just a phenomenal runner and love watching these races.
Yeah, win or lose, it's going to be an amazing match. I can't wait.
All right. Well, we would normally try to, make sure everybody knew about the race 3, but since that might change, I'll keep an eye out in the Discord. Hopefully, you guys will ping us and let us know. I assume. So keep an eye out for those, maybe in the standard tourney thread in the Discord. Which, if you are not part of the Discord and you want to be, uh, there's a link somewhere for it. Maybe, I don't know. If you have to, go to the DW Randomizer channel or go to dwrandomizer.com, I believe. So that should work out, and you can find a link there, and we'll give you all the extra information. Even as this tournament is starting to wind down, or perhaps you would say wind up, as we're getting ready to the final here, make sure to keep abreast of all interesting DWR related news. So again, GG to both of our players, and I believe we are just about to head out now. We're going to head over to Yogi the Monk, who I don't know if you guys thought about this when you saw the coordinates, but this was a Yogi the Monk coordinates, so he might be interested to know about that. But Adam Raptors, would you like to take us out?
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody, and enjoy Yogi the Monk, phenomenal streamer, also on Team Training Tournament with MetalDream and myself. So he's a fun watch. So have a good evening, everyone, or whatever time of day it is where you are.